connecting to the real nerds is so easy. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. We have a Twitter account, @RealNerds. We also have Instagram. You can call us, 720-6nerds5. You want to email us? You can do that too, realnerds@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. My man spider sense is tingling.
Hey, look, it's Man Spider.
How's it going, true believers? When I'm swinging through Colorado and I need comic books, I head to Arvada, Colorado, to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics.
Oh no, the teal troll is attacking me. My son's in danger. Will no one help him?
Oh no, it's Man Spider.
Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics, the whips the competition with great deals on back issues, 50% off, hold slot, 20% off list price. You want sports memorabilia? They got that too.
Where are you going, Man Spider? The teal troll still has my son.
Here's web in your eye.
Oh no, I'm bested by Man Spider again.
So visit 6700 Wadsworth Boulevard in Arvada, Colorado, and tell them the Real Nerd sent you.
For barbecue that can't be beat, try Birdman Barbecue Sauce. Available and original and spicy. These robust, full-flavor sauces have the awesome power to kick your taste buds in their face. And for that smoking taste on everything you eat, try new Birdman Smoke and Rub. Caution! Meat left unrubbed may suffer from flavor performance anxiety. You can pick up Birdman Barbecue at local area Ace Hardware stores, Ruff's Barbecue in Golden, and the Danny Cash Hot Shop off Broadway. You can also like us on Facebook at Birdman BBQ.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Palmiotti, and you're listening to Real Nerds Podcast. Now pay attention and stop playing with your dick.
Welcome to the Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2017. I am a host, James, and I'm here with Brad.
I'm another host.
It's just us, man.
It is unfortunately just us tonight because tragedy has struck the Real Nerds family.
Oh, I know, yeah. It's really too bad. If you've been listening for many years, one Reggie Downey Jr., Ryan's sad little one-eyed mud of a dog, is not doing real well. So Ryan's not here right now. But hopefully they'll all. I mean, well, Reggie won't be okay, but hopefully the Frost family will be okay in the end, and it'll be all right.
Back to normal.
Yeah, and it's of course, as you were lamenting right before we were recording,
we had such a great show planned for tonight. Of course, this happened,
Yeah,
and I'm worried that
we had so much stuff going on.
I have to go to Seattle next week.
Yeah,
and I'm worried that I'm going to be in a plane. And I'm like, hopefully nothing happens to me to derail next week's show. So now I'm worried.
Brett, if the plane goes down, we have more to worry about than reading off our Oscar winners.
Look at them. Look what I did this week. I blew off other things to make these.
I know. When you posted that picture of the envelopes for all the winners, I was like, holy shit, why aren't we filming this? Like, we all need to be in tuxedos. Because they look so good.
You know, if we weren't so busy, like I was going to say, like we should just do this at the Bug. Like we have a stage.
Oh, that's true.
We could record
Holy
a video
shit.
of us doing the reveals. But
oh man, that would be
we're
really
too busy
good
for that.
Yeah,
yeah.
To get everybody together.
And part of me was like, well, maybe James and I could just do the awards. Like, who really cares about our dumb little award?
But
except for Henry and Razak. And
there's some really fun ones in there, and I want to talk about them.
And there's like 21 of them, so like just the two of us going through each. Like it'd be because we'll have Zach next week, and
oh yeah, it'll be a way better episode. Yeah, and
you haven't seen the inside yet.
And neither will the listeners ever.
And you guys also had like a great bonus review for everybody.
We did. I will at least tease that Ryan and I did as we promised and went and saw 50 Shades Darker. But there is no way in hell I can review that movie without Ryan here. Yeah. Except to say, holy shit, was that a fun time at the movie. Don't go see it unless you're me. Ryan just sat there and stared like he was watching children get beaten. It was just amazing. It reminded me of back when we all went to see Creature, and Laura went with us as well. And Laura and I are sitting on the end, and we are dying of laughter, having the best time. And I look down at you and Ryan, and you're sitting there just like furious, like, this, I paid for this shit.
Can we just leave right now? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. But worse, like way worse.
The lengths he'll
Creature.
go to make his wife happy.
Yeah. No, it was a great night.
Just
so.
kidding, Laura.
Yeah. Oh no, Laura and I had an amazing time. I genuinely haven't laughed that hard at a theater, I don't know, since 21 Jump Street. Like I had an amazing time.
What about your lady?
She also enjoyed it, and at one point,
You're still together?
yes. She at one point, like after the movie, she was like, there was a part where I wanted to lean over and ask you, like, do you need to leave? Like, you are uncontrollably laughing. I would wait. I don't want to do too much of a review here, but I will say I was looking forward to the sex parts because that was when I could stop laughing and just like breathe for a minute and like collect myself. And then when the dialogue and the drama would start again, I would just start to die. It was just it was so good. So anyway, be sure to look for that next week, as well as our Oscar winners.
Our nerdy
nerdies.
winner.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. If you didn't notice on the site, we did a basically the we nerds nominated our favorites for the most of the traditional categories. And then we put up a poll and let people vote for what their favorites were or what the winners should be.
And our original lists individually were very interesting.
Yes.
And I don't know, maybe we'll share that someday. But
Yeah.
together they all formed a pretty decent collection of the best of what represented last year, especially your Nacho the Cat. Like, I had about 7 nominations for Best Supporting Actor, and there was one I was really hoping to get in, but the fact that you nominated Nacho the Cat took away T.J. Miller for Deadpool.
Oh, that's a great
Yep.
one. Oh,
like,
my goodness, yeah.
Nacho the Cat's just way too good, yeah.
I was really hoping that I was short on female supporters.
Yeah, you were.
And so, yeah, I was. And so I was really hoping that Nacho the Cat was actually a girl, and I did research to figure out, like, please tell me this cat is a girl, and it wasn't. I was very disappointed.
The other disappointing thing was, like, I nominated John Goodman for Best Actor.
Oh.
Because I don't think he's supporting anybody. Like, he's his own, like,
I guess that's,
equally on level footing character
That's always
as Mary
a weird
Elizabeth
one,
Winstead.
right? Like, you noticed that I did a funny thing. We're spending a lot of time talking about something you won't learn the winners for until next week. But
Hey,
this is just why you should come back and listen next week.
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time thinking about. I ended up nominating Amy Adams for both actress and supporting because I put her in as supporting for Nocturnal Animals.
That's funny, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, and I mean, I did. She ended up getting a nomination for actor, and I think you even put in for both those movies.
Yeah, it's pretty much everyone else did.
Yeah, but I very specifically was like, no, the truth is, even though she's like on the poster, she's not the main character of that movie. Anyway, I just, it was a very bizarre thing. It gave me a lot of insight, I feel like, into how difficult it actually is to choose those nominees, and actually how rewarding it is to be the person nominated, because it is so difficult to end up choosing the 5. Choosing the winner was like, oh, okay, that's whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter as much. But choosing the 5 was the hard part. So, yeah, it was fun. So tune in next week. You'll get to hear a bunch of amazing stuff. So you can stop listening to this episode because it's just going to be Brad and I talking about some news. And
there's also like another surprise review that I was going to spring on you too.
Oh,
Which
yeah?
is another bummer for this week, but I feel like I have to do it tonight anyway because I'll just completely lose it.
Oh, great. Yes.
Being gone for...
I know. I'm afraid of that for 50 Shades too.
Yeah.
50 Shades... Not 50 Shades 2. 50 Shades Darker as well.
I think with Ryan, you'll
yeah, we'll bounce that off.
together. You guys
We'll
will
end up-
rekindle
like,
that. Yeah.
remembering every scene one at a time and being like, yo, dog, remember that time when that crazy shit happened? What was that like?
I mean, I guess you two could just go see it again between now and...
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
So-
Part of the fun is being absolutely shocked by what happens as it happens. Yeah. So, anyway.
Also about the nerdies, whoever voted like multiple times, I could see the IP addresses. So
Oh, could you?
I scrapped those votes. So,
funny.
Yeah.
I checked it at one point because I was like, I wonder if you can vote more than once. That's why I went in, and when it let me, I was like, well, I'm not going to do that, but I could. if I really wanted to make sure that Pee-wee won for
yeah, that was another good
yes.
Like I know you put it in as a joke, but I was like,
no, I was
that's
serious.
kind of valid.
I couldn't find anything for makeup, and so when I was just going through every movie, going like, what movies this year had good makeup? I wasn't going to nominate like, I don't know, X-Men because that wasn't great.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I saw Pee-wee's Big Holiday, I was like, oh man, he did look really young.
Although we don't know if that was like a little bit CGI too. So
oh yeah,
we don't know.
Is makeup CGI? Is Peter Cushing the best makeup of 20? Yeah. Anyway, so if this is your first episode of Real Nerds Podcast, we're gonna basically every week we go see a movie, and as Ryan says, we podcast our experience to the world. This week we went and saw Get Out, which is the Jordan Peele written and directed movie that is maybe a horror, maybe a thriller. What is it? We'll
discuss it later.
Right. We'll review it at the end of the show, talk about whether or not you should see it, play the trailer, and then when we really get into the meat of the review, there will certainly be spoilers for this one because it's a hard one to talk about without spoiling it. But we'll warn you whether or not you should see it beforehand. And then before that, we'll talk about Blu-ray releases and movie news. Lots of movie news this week. Some not as much fun as others. And what we've been watching. So yeah, we'll just catch up for the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we'll probably have an art house asshole.
Oh yeah.
Should we just do that right now?
Yeah, why not?
I love art house movies. You can call me Mr. Asshole. What's up, nerd? This is Henry giving you an update on Art House Asshole. This week, I watched the film The Club, or El Club. It's from Pablo Larraín from 2015. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because one of the films was in the film Explosion for 2016. He did No back in, I think, 2013, which is a fantastic film, and he did Jackie recently, as well as Neruda, which is another big film from 2016. This film was actually kind of a disappointment. I went in with high hopes. Maybe that was my fault, but overall, just very disappointed by it. I think it's just a very messy made film, and also just frankly, there's not a lot going for it. I think it's just it's not poorly written, but not written well enough for it to be a dialogue only film. But yeah, that's what we watched this week. Overall, I don't think I would recommend it. You can see my full thoughts on the film on realnerdspodcast.com. I think you guys are seeing Get Out this week, which I'm going to try to see as well, too. Hope it's good. Let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks. Bye.
The Club. Cool. All right.
Yeah. So go...
maybe I'll get that in Denver.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes when he gets the really obscure ones, I'm like, oh, man, this is not as easy to find. But, it's always fun to read through his reviews. So make sure that you go check those out on the site.
Definitely.
Yeah, they're always really good, especially when he hates movies. I really like when even a 2-star like this one, I still end up being like, all right, that's a good read. It's worth my time.
Or the ones where he's so disgusted by it, he just goes off and does a review of something else halfway through and equates it to random things.
Yes.
That's always good.
Yeah, no, he's really great. It's been fantastic having him written for the site. So
I saw some Instagram photos. He was working on some project in a bathroom scene at school.
I'm gonna work on a project in the bathroom.
Gross.
As soon as we get done with this, man, it's nothing but project management in the bathroom. Anyway,
cool. What's next?
Let's do some Blu-ray releases. There's some cool stuff this week. DVD releases and Blu-rays. Doctor Strange is your big release of the week.
Yeah, I got the steelbook waiting for me.
Oh, is it cool? What's the cover? Is it the necklace thingy?
Yeah, what's it called?
The Eye of Agamotto.
Eye of Agamotto. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell if because there's two versions, but the 3D Blu-ray one has like a red cover, and then the other one's a green cover. But it's just the slip that usually just peel off.
Yeah.
And I think the steelbooks are the same.
It's interesting that there's not 4K versions of those starting to come out. You think they're waiting to start doing that stuff?
Well, I was noticing all Disney films don't have there aren't Disney films on 4K yet.
Yeah, there was no Jungle Book.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're doing. Or if they're just they're waiting to re-release them from the vault in 2 years, all on 4K, once it's caught on.
Or they're hesitant to purchase the license for 4K.
Could be. Yeah, it could be. Moonlight, if you're currently watching the Oscars, then you're probably being told that you should go see Moonlight. And since it's not really in very many theaters left, you can get it on Blu-ray come this Tuesday, which seems like it's probably perfect timing for that movie. As I'm sure it'll definitely clean up a few categories tonight. So
It's weird, like that movie Arrival and Manchester by the Sea all came out recently.
Yeah.
You think they'd wait till they could put like won 7 Academy Awards on the box?
Oh yeah.
But yeah. I guess they were like, nah, that's not going to help us.
Right. Wait, when's the Arrival Blu-ray out?
Did it already come out?
No, it's not out yet. I don't think so. Unless it was last week.
Last week.
Oh, was it last week?
Maybe it's just the 4K version?
Oh, weird. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look it up now. Because I
Did
wasn't
you
here
not say
last week.
last week?
I wasn't here last week. So that's why.
Go like on Digital Bits like 1 week back.
Okay, hold on. The Before Sunrise trilogy is going to be out next week on Criterion. That's one that I definitely want to pick up because that was those movies are really fantastic. Oh no, Nocturnal Animals was last week.
Okay, go 1 more week.
Okay, well I definitely didn't do it 2 weeks ago. Oh no,
Yeah,
I did.
there.
What? Why the fuck haven't I bought this movie yet?
Yeah. I was
I
like,
feel
surely
like-
he has this. And
No.
yeah, there's a Blu-ray and a 4K.
I was here the week we talked about 1
Were
million
you?
years. Oh yeah, because the Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
Why'd you
feel
skip
like-
over? Oh,
I
you
don't
went,
think-
you went
I don't
straight to
think it was
Billy
up.
Lynn because you
No,
made that
I don't
joke.
think it was here that week. I don't think it was on Digital Bits that week.
Then-
I would have talked about it.
And you haven't been in stores since?
No, I haven't left the house.
Wow, that's like your favorite movie.
I know.
You not have it.
I know. I only learn what's coming out on Blu-ray from this part of the podcast.
That's
so
weird.
I never know. Yeah. So anytime the Digital Bits like misses something on a week, I'm never informed.
Well,
So I got to
really,
go pick up the Arrival.
Well, really, you should have pre-ordered it on Amazon and got it the day it came out. So you really dropped the ball.
I did.
I'm so disappointed in you.
I'm gonna take my ball and go home. So the Raid collection, so you can get the Raid Redemption and the Raid 2 is out on Blu-ray. This looks like it's a cool like book edition, but sometimes that's deceiving on the Amazon.
Looks like one of those slide in the side
Oh, it might be.
boxes to me.
Yeah. Anyway, Hunter Cross Hunter, some kind of anime thing where a dude with some cards throws cards like Gambit at a map. It might be cool. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is?
I do not.
Okay, moving along. One More Time with Feeling, which is a Andrew Dominic movie. Don't know what that is. Contract to Kill, starring Steven Seagal. War Has No Borders, which certainly doesn't have any political undertones at this time of the year. This is a movie where a terrible Photoshop of Steven Seagal's goatee carries along a very large gun that doesn't fit into the picture, and maybe he shoots somebody.
Like all of his movies now, he's like wearing sunglasses and a windbreaker.
Is he hanging out in front of a very large golf ball? What is this? He's killing people at the Epcot Center.
Yep, that's Epcot Center.
Go
Or
look at
a
the
giant golf ball.
Yeah, go look at the
Steven
cover.
Seagal runs from a giant golf ball.
Yeah, he's like, you know what's cool? Beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark. What if it was like that, but with golf balls? That would be pretty awesome. There's a Katie Holmes movie called All We Had. No idea what this is, but I
It's
don't
just
know.
her face, doesn't tell us much.
Yep,
She's looking off to the side like something's coming.
She's not even paying attention to the photographer. Tupac Assassin 3 Battle for Compton. I didn't see Assassin 1 or 2, so I'm going to be pretty lost about this one. It doesn't actually say 3 on the cover, which is weird. Is it that?
No,
is it
it-
Tupac Assassin? Is it saying Tupac is an assassin, or
Well,
is it
the
Assassin
Amazon
3?
text just says 2-pack, like the number 2, and then like pack like Pac-Man, dash
You're right.
Assassination 3, Battle for Compton.
Right, it does.
But the cover art says like Tupac Shakur.
I totally read it that way because it's Tupac Assassin. I don't even know what I said. Did I say Tupac or Tupac?
You said Tupac, but
Okay,
I'm
good.
reading the top and it says 2-pack. like it's a Blu-ray 2-pack.
Were the deaths of Tupac and Biggie casualties of a larger crime?
We're so white.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is. But maybe it's a series of documentaries about assassinations. Assassination 3, Battle for Compton.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, there's
And
like a
then it's
series
about-
of assassination.
Oh.
Assassination 1 is probably JFK. Assassination 2 is probably about Lincoln, and now
Sure.
Assassination 3 is Compton.
Why would they do JFK before Lincoln? It doesn't matter. I'm confused. I don't know. If you're super into Tupac, go get the 2-pack. I don't know if there's actually 2 movies in there or not.
Well, there's also that. I saw a trailer for a Tupac movie.
There
biopic,
is.
So.
Yeah, with that guy who looks exactly like Tupac.
So you can wait for that too.
You can. Arrow is releasing a movie called Pulse this week, which I think
Is
is...
that the Pulse from like the early 2000s?
I think that this is the Japanese movie that the Kristen Bell movie Pulse is based on.
Sounds.
Now, we don't have Ryan here to confirm that, but that would be my assumption, because this is a Japanese film, and because the movie Pulse was based on an Asian... Because the Kristen Bell movie was... during that whole fad of like
The
Ring
Grudge.
and
The Ring.
Grudge and all that, where they were just like pumping out remakes of Asian horror films. So, Ape in 3D. It's got asterisks between the A, P, and the E, so I'm pretty sure that he's actually some kind of undercover like badass spy. A.P.E. in 3D.
There's another like title clarification. Ape 3D, aka APE.
It's true. Weird. What the hell? See, Ape, defy the jaws of giant shark. See, Jaws is in all caps so that you're reminded that this is a movie after Jaws came out, where a giant monkey fights a giant shark and maybe takes down the Titanic. This might be every great film all wrapped up into one. They were like, what if King Kong killed the Titanic and the shark from Jaws? Destroy a teeming city. Demolish an ocean liner. Vanquish monster reptile. Oh, there's a giant snake in it too. Holy shit! And Batman. See Batman hanging from the helicopter? That's probably the shark that attacks Batman.
And he's got the shark repellent on him. And his shark repellent is an ape.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh man, The Gate, which is from that company, Vestron video.
It doesn't look like a gate. It looks like a hole in the ground.
Yeah,
that
but
says the word gate.
But it spells gate.
Oh, gates of hell, and the hell's in the ground.
Probably, yeah. Or maybe it's just a gate. I don't know. And then I'm pretty sure that this is a Scream Factory. Yes, it is. Dead Time Stories. See, it's like bedtime stories, but they're dead.
Ah, it rhymes.
That's great. Your most terrifying nightmares now come to life. You'll pray for dawn. That's the tagline. They really didn't take very much time on that one. But as you would expect, there's like a weird werewolf hand holding a book that says Dead Time Stories, and there's a knife in it. And maybe some ghostly wisps or something. I don't know. It doesn't look like much, but I'm sure that if Ryan were here, he'd be like,
if Ryan was here, he'd explain it
"Oh
all.
no, man, that was the most important horror film. It influenced."
My dad would take me to Blockbuster,
Everybody.
and I'd pull it off the shelf. And
See, when I was a kid, I would go to the Safeway, and we would rent movies, and I would always get the same movie, Dead Time Stories. Oh, I'm sorry, Ryan. Yeah. Anyway, so that is Blu-ray releases for this week. Brad, what do you want to do next?
Looks like you have news up, so let's do news.
I do. It's not the most fun place to start.
It's real news.
This is a fresh one.
Yeah, Bill Paxton died today.
Complications
During surgery. Did they say? I haven't seen an article that says what.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
sure
only
that
read
it was
the headline.
Yeah, it was probably heart
Anesthesia
surgery.
or something.
Yeah, something.
Or someone else told me maybe blood clot.
Yeah, right. Like it was probably one of those things that is pretty common these days that he was in for that just didn't go well. So it's really too bad.
But a lot of the headlines said like "Game Over Man," which is clever. And then I scrolled down my Facebook feed, and everyone did "Game Over Man" and completely ended that joke. So
yeah,
we don't need any more. It's done.
please don't use that joke. Yeah, it's too bad. He's obviously fantastic in Apollo 13 as Fred Hayes, and I have said many times how much I love Frailty, even though I'm not a horror movie guy, though I am a Matthew McConaughey guy. But
what?
But
say.
Frailty is fantastic. And he also directed this little movie called The Greatest Game Ever Played. That's like a little golf movie with Shia LaBeouf. That's also really decent. Totally worth checking out. So if you're sad that Bill Paxton died, go watch The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah.
And
he's in the background of tons of like 80s movies that you don't even think of. Like he's in the
Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Have you
just
ever
said
seen
tons.
Near Dark? I've never seen it
Mm,
because it looks scary.
No, I haven't.
That's the one where he's on the cover and he's all like bloody and mangled and has an axe or something.
Okay.
But anyway, he's still got a couple more movies coming out. I think the last one is a movie called The Circle that's supposed to come out in April or May. That's got Emma Watson in it, I want to say. So we'll all get to see his last performance this year. So really too bad. He was pretty fantastic. So. Switching gears pretty starkly. Benedict Cumberbatch wants Scott Derrickson to come back for Doctor Strange 2, which, is cool.
Not surprising.
Right, yeah, like Scott Derrickson did a good job, and as long as his relationship with Marvel is pretty decent, like he's definitely a guy that they should bring back. Cool. Just I only bring it up because anytime Scott Derrickson is in the news, we end up talking about it anyway because he's from our backyard. So one of these days I would love to get him on the show. So did you read this little blurb about Patrick Stewart and Logan, and how it was like the third time he saw Logan, like the final cut of Logan, and he was at a screening, and it was over. The way he tells the story, the movie ends, and he looks over, and he's sitting next to Hugh Jackman, and Hugh Jackman is like wiping away a tear, and he realized that he had just done the same thing. And as they got up on stage, he told Hugh Jackman, "Nah, I'm done. I'm not playing Xavier again." So now this movie has.
I mean, I read a headline condensed into just like
the
main point of that, but
it's a really sweet little.
That's cool.
Little blurb, yeah.
Like I don't know what else like he has to do with that character in the universe, like and then from what I've heard, it's a great wrap up for him.
I know. I'm so excited.
There's a small chance that Hugh Jackman might come back for another one anyway, so like if he gets to do a Deadpool crossover, maybe if it's really good, he might do it.
Like if there was like if it was a cameo.
Yeah.
Like a real crossover where he's in the movie the whole time, or if it's just like
I can see him maybe doing
like
a cameo.
He just does like the middle finger thing again.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, if it's really good, he might just do the whole thing. Like I don't think he'll come back for like another PG-13 outing, but it has to be something like really great.
Yeah, it'd have to be something where he really feels like
it's worth his
right
time
for the character. Yeah. Oh, they could totally like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator Salvation, like just CG him in as like younger Hugh Jackman. Because that's the other thing is that unfortunately, as Hugh Jackman gets older, he doesn't look as much like young Wolverine.
Right.
So unless you're telling an old man Logan story, it's actually kind of hard to get him in there. But
yeah,
but pull it off.
Patrick Stewart retiring from the character, like I'm surprised
Makes
it didn't
sense.
get announced along with Hugh Jackman originally. Like like I already, like you could tell from the trailers Xavier's going to die in this movie, so the surprise would be that he doesn't.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
but I think the only reason I bring it up is because it makes it seem like everything I'm hearing about this movie is so good, and I'm so excited for it.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to go buy my tickets because I haven't yet, and it's starting to sell out. So
I know
it's great.
I hope the Cinerama Dome in Seattle has plenty of tickets because that's how I'm going to see it if it works out.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
I've never been to Seattle. Is the Cinerama Dome relatively famous?
I mean, any Cinerama Dome's famous, but this one, it's been renovated recently. Like it feels like an Alamo Drafthouse vibe.
Cool.
But I've never been to it before, so I don't know
what
to expect.
That's cool.
I've never been to any.
Yeah.
I had a chance in LA, but didn't get to.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So we'll see. I'll report back on the next episode.
So the next thing is only sort of half news, just confirmation that for sure Matt Reeves is going to direct the next Batman.
You know what's funny is last week our news was he's not going to direct it.
Yeah.
So,
but it seems like this is pretty much for sure at this point. Which is cool. I really like him, and I certainly think that he can do a great job. So it's definitely good news. On the bad news side, Hellboy is officially dead. They will not be making Hellboy 3, which I'm only surprised by because they've kept talking about it for so long. Like, I didn't ever expect them to make it, but
well, I mean, they still could. It's just not going to have Guillermo del Toro attached. Like,
yeah, I feel like if you made a Hellboy movie that wasn't Guillermo del Toro, you reboot Hellboy,
right?
Because at this point, your actors are older. Like the fan base is not necessarily like so large that you're really getting something out of it, you might as well go make a new Hellboy. But I don't want to see that movie, to be completely honest. Like the Guillermo del Toro vision of Hellboy is so amazing, especially that first movie, that I'm not that interested in it. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen. I'm sure I've seen. I think I've seen parts of each of them.
Yeah,
but I've never sat down. Like I can't remember if I did or not.
oh,
It's funny. I've been doing listening to our old episodes.
Yeah,
and there's movies I talk about that I don't remember watching, but clearly I did because there I am talking about it.
Yeah. That's funny.
From 2012.
Do you have any examples? Do you remember any? I mean, obviously, no, you don't.
Yeah. Like I've been burning through episodes in
Yeah.
order to beat the deadline here. So
Right.
I notated them. I just off the top of my head right now.
That's funny.
With the crazy day I've had.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Shit, I forgot to talk about Galaxy Fest.
Yeah, you should totally check out at least the first one. I think the second one's cool too, but it's more visually cool. The story is like, okay, there's bad elves or something. I don't know.
I remember the Golden Army came out the same summer as The Dark Knight.
Mm.
And people gave the Golden Army high marks, but it got overshadowed by the Dark Knight and Iron Man business. So
yeah, it's a weirder story, but of course, just because it's Guillermo, like it's visually amazing. I think the Angel of Death in that movie is one of his coolest creature designs. Period. Like it's so beautiful that like I watched that movie waiting for that sequence to pop up. It feels a lot more like a fantasy film than it does even as a sequel to Hellboy. It's very bizarre, but awesome. Definitely worth checking out. So, Joe Carnahan's Uncharted script is apparently very rated R and full of awesome action sequences. I like every piece of news that keeps coming out about Joe Carnahan's Uncharted film. There was a little bit of a scuttle where it sounded like maybe the original creators weren't involved, but that got squashed this week where they basically said like, oh no, like Amy Hennig and Nolan North have both been consulting with Joe Carnahan, so there's still hope that the movie is going to be flippin' awesome. Speaking of, this wasn't in my original list, but just because I brought up awesome adventure movies, we also got screenshots of Alicia Vikander as the new Lara Croft, and it's also really cool looking. It looks amazing, and I'm really hopeful that the next 2 years we're gonna get. It would be awesome if this started a resurgence of cool adventure films. I'm sure what will actually happen is they'll make a great Uncharted movie and no one will go see it, and they'll make a great Lara Croft movie and it'll do well, but everybody will be like, well, the next one should have more CG skeleton people in it, and then they'll make a sequel to it that's not anywhere near as good. That's the future of film. So
video game movies do not have a good track record lately. Yeah. I can't remember. Has anyone been acclaimed? Has any video game adaptation done well at all? I can't think of one. Mortal Kombat, I guess.
Well,
it's dated now.
In my mind, the first question is, have any of them been good? And then have any of the good ones been done well? Right? Because Scott Pilgrim is comic book. Sorry, no.
I was thinking
video
movies.
Games, yeah. The Resident Evil movies make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But they're
not critically acclaimed.
Barely an adaptation of the games, but
yeah, there's critically acclaimed comic book movies, but there's no
yes.
Almost give an Oscar to the Super Mario Brothers movie.
I don't even want that. I want an Uncharted movie that is as good and does as well as the first Brendan Fraser Mummy.
Sure,
that's all I want. I think that's fair, and then I think that as long as you make sequels that are like the video game sequels, where they're character driven instead of being this time the Mummy comes back. I think you could keep a franchise going pretty well. You just need a really charismatic lead, and you need to write good character-driven stories, which I guess is the rule for all movies, now that I think about it. But anyway, whatever. Moving on, they released the prologue to Alien Covenant. I've never seen somebody do this before, I don't think. I guess, that thing for Darjeeling Limited was similar. What this really feels like, a deleted scene that they have released as...
So it's not the first 10 minutes The Dark Knight or something? Or...
No. My understanding is this is a
Hotel
separate
Chevalier.
scene. Yes,
Yeah.
that this is like what it really feels like is like a scene that they either filmed impromptu or they wrote for the movie and then cut either as part of the script they cut it or they cut it, just in the edit. But it's basically like it's interesting. It introduces you to like what the Covenant is. You get a little feel of some of the characters, and there's a lot. It's almost too heavy. No, not even almost. It is too heavy with homage, and so you kind of see where some things are going. But it's fun. It's delightful. I really like the characters. I think that part of it is fun, and the tone of it is very much. Oh man, hey, what about Alien? Which is pretty great. So
James Franco's in this movie.
I know. I didn't even realize that.
I mean, I'm not surprised because Danny McBride's in it.
Right.
So,
yeah. In fact, I think what they sort of. Well, maybe I shouldn't reveal this. I think it's James Franco's back in the trailer.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Just once I saw it, he was in the movie. I was like, oh, now that shot. But there's a lot of characters. Like, there's so many people to die.
So much fodder.
If our main heroine is going to be the last person alive, as is my expectation for pretty much all Alien films, there's gonna be a lot of murder in this film, like a John Wick level of like
body count.
Right, just xenomorph running through nightclubs, shooting people in the face. That's basically the equivalent of what we're gonna get here, which is cool. I don't know. It looks pretty good. So, yeah. That's pretty much all the news. I don't know. Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. But
I always do stuff during the week and then forget to write it down.
Yeah. I
So,
know. Cool. This is the stuff we've been watching.
So, yeah, this is the stuff we've been watching.
Brad, what'd you watch this week?
not a lot. So I got those DS9 Blu-ray, or not Blu-ray, DVDs, the complete series.
Yeah.
And so I went through and watched all the special features. And I'm going back and watching the TV show itself because it's not conformed to standard frame like it was on Netflix, so I can stretch it out with my TV settings.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but that's beside the point. So,
but it's still square. You're just stretching it to be widescreen to fill your TV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, which is it's not that it doesn't feel that stretched. Like everyone's just a little bit wider than they normally would
right.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
Close enough.
Cisco's already got a wide head, so.
But the main point of this week is I watched all the special features, and apparently Best Buy had like their own bonus disc with each of the seasons when they came out.
Oh.
And so there's a bunch of like specialty documentaries on those discs that explain things I was hoping to learn.
Like in the
with
show?
the set, yeah.
Oh,
you know,
just
like certain
about
character
the show.
profiles or like
Oh, cool.
retrospectives of certain episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm like clicking through, and I get to season 7, and there's nothing about Ezri Dax.
Yeah, the new Dax.
The new Dax. Yeah. And there's no one really talks about like in season 6's special features. Terry Farrell talks about like her final
Leaving
episode
the show,
and everything,
yeah.
and the episode halfway through the season where Worf disregards orders to save her and gets in trouble so that she doesn't die on the planet. And she's like, I kind of felt like I should have just died on that planet because I was leaving anyway. But then they gave me another like storyline to wrap me up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was hoping to like learn more about like why she left a season before the end to go, I think, on Becker. She got a role on Becker. Like, I understand, like, preparing to, like, get your next job.
Yeah.
But, like, there was only one more season to go.
Yeah, but she had at least 3 seasons of show that would only air very late at night for the next 10 years.
So, yeah, and then, like, not learning more about, like, the actress who played Ezri.
Yeah.
But it turns out her character profile is on a Best Buy disc that I will never have.
Oh, okay.
And the odd thing is, out of all the 7 sets I did get, season 5 is a Best Buy one. So I do have one extra disc.
Weird. Where did you buy them? Just off of Amazon?
Off of eBay. But it was like, because the whole set comes encased in a like its own little case that has
like a shell.
the cast on it. Yeah.
Sure.
It's like a bottom tray, a paper bottom tray.
Sure. Okay.
And then it was
it made you feel like, well, these all were the same.
Yeah, this is all a complete set.
but one of these things is
But
not
it
like
feels
the other.
like they made a complete set out of all these sets they didn't sell at stores, and they're a mishmash of like Targets and Best Buys and that got returned. And one of them, has a Best Buy disc.
Sounds right.
I'm just like, oh man, And I think the new one that's coming out,
YouTube it.
that's in the clamshell, I think it still is missing all the Best Buy. So anyway, I'm just like, there's stuff I want to know about the show that I'm not going to get to.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe someone uploaded it to YouTube, but it's kind of a bummer.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Because you have to click, there's like a lot of Easter egg spots on the menus.
Yeah.
That like reveal. And then like Benjamin Sisko like gets a double dip profile on season 7. He's in season 1.
Yeah.
And they do him again in season 2, and also Jake Sisko. I'm just like, that was room for like other characters that could have, like, there's no Gul Dukat profile in any, but there's a Vash profile in season 1. Do you remember Vash?
No, I don't remember Vash.
She was in Next Gen, and when Picard went to Risa for a vacation, and then the Ferengi and then the people from the future come to like find this. They're from the future, and Vash is like trying to steal this secret artifact on Risa.
Huh.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, she's like a character in one episode of the series, and she even has a profile.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Huh. So are you watching through the entire show again, or did you just watch through all the...
I did the special features, and then I've when that was done, I was like, I have a ton of work I have to do, so the background noise is the show again.
Yeah, for sure. I should watch the... Oh, yeah, that lady. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, Q's in her episode.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Because a few years ago, I watched back through that show, so I kind of remember her.
Actually, there might be a Gul Dukat profile, or I may be thinking of like one of the retrospectives where he's just talking about an episode.
Yeah.
Mark Limo's on there. It's just there's no like...
Yeah. There's not like here's 20 minutes about just Gul Dukat and how cool he is, and...
He's such a bastard.
Yeah, it's one of the highlights of that show.
Well, he's a villain you love to hate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like just well cast and well written, and it's
although
like,
his finale is pretty ridiculous.
My general rule for Deep Space Nine of like if an episode starts with the face of a Bajoran, you should skip the episode. The opposite is true for an episode that starts with Gul Dukat. You should just be like, oh, okay, make sure you pay attention because this one's gonna be good. Yeah.
Actually, another thing is like watching the first season. Like, there's lines that I missed. Like, I kind of don't like Bajorans as much because like they're always like, you always pitied them because the Cardassians oppressed them for so many years.
But they're so whiny.
But then I didn't notice, like, this is the first time I heard Kira out of the line, like, if the Cardassians weren't there, the Bajorans would just be fighting each other because there's always like Bajoran factions that hate each other.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, you guys kind of, you're a bunch of little whiny. Like,
yeah.
Like, you just got freed from oppression, and then you're going to go back and fight each other. Like,
right.
Maybe Cardassians were good for you, like, keeping you in line. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just genuinely find those episodes to be the most boring, because it's a lot of, like, weird infighting or, like, kind of ethereal conversations about this weird religion that I just don't find very interesting.
Prophets and the
like all that stuff that always feels convenient more than it feels interesting.
Yeah.
But
and actually, there's some really relevant episodes in the last disc I watched, because there's one where the second Kai, I forget her name, the one Bajoran Kai who is pretty much like the villainous one throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah.
What's his name? Chief O'Brien's wife starts a school at Deep Space Nine, and then that Kai wants to all the Bajorans that attend the school to have to be taught Bajoran religion.
Yeah.
And O'Brien's wife is like, no, we're going to like not specify which religion you should focus on. Like, that's just going to be like neutral ground in the classroom. And obviously the Kai pushes like, well, my students aren't going to attend unless you teach Bajoran religion in your class. So like, that's a very prescient from 1993.
As you say.
Still a problem today.
Yeah. Absolutely.
what was the
It's
other
a cool
one?
show. It's a really
Yeah,
cool show.
growing up, it was always like the redhead stepchild of the.
It's interesting.
series.
Yeah, I remember like really enjoying it early on, and then kind of falling off in the middle seasons when everybody else loved it. Like I fell out of love with it. I mean, I was probably like, I don't know, I was 8 or 9 when it was airing. So like a lot of the politics stuff just was over my head, and I didn't care much for it. So like especially when the war and all that stuff was going on, I actually wasn't really watching it then. And so when I went back and rewatched it, it was actually really fun because I was like, oh man, this show was great. Like this is all. Like half of the show is the stuff about Battlestar Galactica that I liked, and it never becomes the stuff about Battlestar Galactica that I hate. So this is pretty cool. But it also has Bajorans, and that's not good. So I don't know. It's a great show. It's not my favorite Star Trek, I don't think, but it's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's getting up there for me. Like,
Yeah.
it's becoming equally on footing with Next Generation for me.
That's cool.
There's something that I watched that I wanted to talk about. I did this week. There's really cool, but I can't remember now. Why don't I write these things down? Anyway, the surprise review that I was gonna do,
Yes.
a drop on you guys, is I saw A Cure for Wellness.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Should I go see A Cure for Wellness? I mean, I'm probably going to go anyway because I'm very
it's a pretty
curious.
movie, and
I really like Gore Verbinski's The Mexican. Should I go see?
I don't know. I've never seen The Mexican.
Oh, really? Oh, you should say it's a.
So A Cure
Julia
for
Roberts
Wellness is
movie.
visually pretty stunning, but a lot of the criticisms I heard before I went into it was that it's really confusing. And so for about an hour of the movie, I'm sitting there following along, wondering why people think this is confusing at all. And then, like, at the hour mark, it does get really confusing. Like, it just takes...
it takes a left turn, and
yeah.
and you don't go with it.
Like, you can tell from the trailers that probably people shouldn't drink the water because
Yeah.
it probably has hallucinogenic properties.
Yeah.
So, like, right away, like, a lot of stuff is telegraphed up to that.
Sure.
And verifies that. And then all of a sudden, like... I don't want to spoil it because, again, it's a mystery movie. Like, the whole movie is just, like, trying to solve what the hell's going on. And then it gets so, like, mainstream by the end. And the main character, Dane DeHaan, like, he starts out as a shitty character. Like,
Yeah.
he's just not a dude you want to like.
Yeah.
But he's the guy we have to follow all the time through this
Sure.
movie. And the end is kind of redemptive, but it doesn't feel earned.
Sure.
And you don't think he's changed really.
Sure.
And it has this, and the last shot is, I don't know, I feel really comical and almost kind of suggests that the villain, like, given the rules of this universe that
Yeah.
he's in, I don't know if his character might actually be possessed by the villain at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
You don't really know what happened.
I don't know what to make of this movie. I mean, I have an idea of what happened, but
You certainly wouldn't say you're confident.
yeah, there's just so many, like, bizarre red herrings.
Weird.
And yeah, it's hard to talk about without spoiling it because, like, again, it's a mystery. If I tell you how it ends, then there's, like, really no surprise at all at the end.
Yeah.
And it's also filled with things I feel like I've seen before, but I don't know where to place them in movies. Like, yeah, I shouldn't say that one. It's treated like a
fine.
big reveal in the movie, but at the same time, like,
It's one of those things that you feel. It's kind
I've
of like
seen this before, but
what was the Leonardo DiCaprio Martin Scorsese movie that's not going to help you?
The Departed.
No, yeah.
The Aviator?
Name 7 films.
Yeah.
The one where he is in an asylum.
Shutter
Island.
Yeah.
Like, I remember feeling that way about Shutter Island, where the whole time I'm like, oh, I know what's happening, and then it happens, and I was like, yeah, I know. Does
Yeah.
it feel like that when you say it gets mainstream? Or like telegraphed?
Like big spectacle finale, CGI finale.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
Um,
So I think what you're saying is I should go see Lion this week and wait and rent A Cure for Wellness.
yeah. Although there is, like, I don't know, sound design has a lot to do with this, but there are some pretty freaky moments in it.
Sure.
Especially one involving like if you don't like going to the dentist, you're not going to like this movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty kind of graphic. But then there's a weird cut that's like, how did he escape? Like
Better or worse than Castaway? Remember the two scene in Castaway, which I always find pretty rough?
It's again, because the sound design, it's not
Yes,
graphic.
it's the sound that makes that scene so bad.
In the editing.
Yes.
It's like, you could hear people in the audience just being like, oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I'll rent it and turn the sound down.
Yeah. Yeah. They drill his tooth and, oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And then the weird thing is, at the end, given, like, there's, like, a plot of incest in the movie, the audience cheered at the end.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, like...
It's weird. It's weird that as confusing as it is, the audience
they weren't clapping
reacted.
for that specifically, but just, like, I got really uncomfortable with where the plot went at the end.
Yes.
And what they were showing me on screen.
Yes.
I was like, even if I liked the movie, I don't know if I'd be like, Star Wars cheer at the end.
Yeah, that's weird. It's weird that the audience was into it that much, considering what you're saying.
And also, I saw it like early in the morning, so I thought I was gonna be like the only person in there.
Yeah.
And granted, it was theater 1, so
oh sure, so it's
there's
a
not
small
a lot of
theater.
seats,
yeah, right?
But still, it was packed.
Yeah. Huh.
So
that's weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
It felt like maybe there was like a company outing, and that's why they were like all.
Hey guys, let's all go see A Cure for Wellness.
Yeah.
I hear it's confusing.
Yeah.
Weird. But yeah, I only wanted to see it because of Gore Verbinski, so maybe I will simply rent it and go see Lion this week instead, because I hear really good things about it.
Because the sound design, you might want to be in a theater for it. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, sound design doesn't make or break a movie. It is, for me,
it makes
right?
it scarier.
Yes, but if from what you're saying, I don't think that it being scary is the point. Or is going to make or break that movie for me. So I don't know. I'll think about it. If I don't know. You make me very curious. Like I really want to go because I want to know what the deal is.
I may just be setting you up to I need someone else to see it. So I
can fall for that trap.
Because I left and I ran into Kendall in the lobby, and she's like, what movie did you see? And I was like, The Cure for Wellness, and she hadn't seen it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how to
I just
relate
don't
this to you. It was so weird to me.
I have one like that myself this week.
Might be both of us.
Cool. Anything else?
I wish there was that other thing.
If you think of it.
I mean, I forgot to talk earlier. So I went to Galaxy Fest this morning.
Oh, cool. What was that?
Which made my day so chaotic. I had to go to Colorado Springs and back. It's the first time I've cosplayed to a con.
Yeah.
Usually we're behind the booth.
Wait, did you test your Star Trek?
I tested my Star Trek uniform.
Oh, that's cool. And
I'm used to being invisible at cons.
Uh-huh.
Not feeling like...
Your costume is so cool that everywhere you went, people were like, oh, man.
I mean, other people do way cooler things than wear a Starfleet uniform that I bought online. People have crafted things themselves. But, right away, I walk in and people are flashing the Vulcan hand gesture at me, and all the booths are I know they're trying to get people to buy their stuff, but still I don't usually walk down the whole aisle and have everyone say, hey, what's up, hey, what's up, hey, what's up.
That's fun. There was more camaraderie because you were cosplaying.
Yeah, and then
cool.
the Star Trek booths instantly hey, come over here, you're one of us.
Yeah.
And so there was this setup for a Star Trek bridge simulator at the con.
Yeah.
I was down there for a filming panel to support friends, but in the waiting time, there's these guys who have set up a bunch of laptop monitors, and they have this collective they've built a bridge. Granted, it's just tempered glass tables and desktop monitors, but and a big screen in the front. But it feels like I'm on the bridge, and we had a 6-year-old captain.
Aww.
And I think another 6-year-old helmsman, and a 58-year-old science officer.
That's awesome.
And I was weapons, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If it goes to Starfest, I think I'll try it again. Yeah. It's an hour-long demo, and remember when it used to be about we were a science vessel?
Yes.
This is an attack thing.
Of course it is.
Right out of space dock, the kids are all right, let's go find some Cardassians to kill. I'm shouldn't we just explore the galaxy and look for new races and new.
Yeah.
No, this is all about just
Let's
killing
find
other
new
ships.
races and have long conversations about whether or not we can talk to them.
Yeah. But no, it's fun. Like, yeah, just
That's really cool.
trying to, like, constantly, like, Captain, should we put our shields up? Yes, shields.
Yeah, put the shields up and then shoot
now,
everything.
Yeah, now nuke them. Like, Captain, 3 times now I've told you that we're out of nukes. What else do you want me to do? I think we need to go to DS2 and restock our weapons complement. And yeah, you could tell, like, the guy running the whole operation, like, there's a guy in the back that's kind of, like, helping us along. Like, hey, weapons guy, you actually need to target the ships. Like, oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't forget you can divert power from torpedoes if we're running low on stuff. So there's a guy in the back kind of, like, chuckling, you know,
Yeah.
when I'm, like, trying to explain to the kid.
I'm out of nukes.
Yeah. And I'm the one, like, wearing the Starfleet uniform.
Yeah.
So when we did, like, round 2, he's like, weapons guy, what starship should we choose for our next mission? And I'm like, Constitution class, no Galaxy class.
Yeah.
And he, like, gave a smile, like, he knows what's up.
Uh-huh. Very cool.
Because these are all war missions.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. Awesome.
I wish I'd found the Enterprise E, though. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I think that's still Galaxy class.
It's I believe it's actually an Excelsior class.
Is it?
Even though, because it's the same as the USS Excelsior.
Right.
I think. I'm sure I'm talking out of my ass, but I seem to remember seeing that somewhere. But anyway. Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
So hopefully at Starfest they'll be there, too, and I'll try it again.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Sweet.
Now, what did you watch?
Just a couple of quick things. I rewatched all of Stranger Things, which I only wanted to bring up to see whether or not Ryan had watched Stranger Things yet.
I'm going to
Because
go
I don't
no.
think he has.
Yeah.
Which is really too bad, because watching through it again, I basically had some free time, and as I was cleaning the apartment this weekend, I had it on, and I was like, man, this show is really fucking good. Like,
Unless Netflix goes to Amazon or DirecTV, I don't think he's going to see it.
dude, he's got they need to put out a Blu-ray of it
Yeah.
and a really nice box set, because it's just so damn good that I would want to own it. And I'd like to have, like, special features and that kind of stuff for it too.
Oh,
like
yeah,
some
totally.
commentaries and things like that, because it's just so good. I would love to hear the Duffer Brothers talk about it, because I've heard a podcast with them on it. But I'd love to get some more.
Okay.
Okay, good. Do you want to go now?
We
now.
probably should before I forget.
Yeah.
So speaking of podcasts,
Sure.
there was a new episode of Doug Loves Movies this week.
Oh, okay.
And it might be, like, one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah.
Because his guests are promoting a movie. It's called Catfight,
Okay.
and it stars.
Sounds like a movie you made.
Thank you. Hopefully, you think I'm a nicer person than what happened. So
Oh,
anyway, it's. The director's name is Onur Tuchel, and apparently he was on a previous episode of Doug Loves Movies that
Okay.
I don't remember hearing, but that guy got kicked off the show because he couldn't. He was either talking too much or he was super drunk.
Okay.
So Doug booted him, and he just was like, "Okay, I'm out."
Yeah.
And then he continued on with the show. But in good faith, Doug invited him back for this episode, and so it's him, Anne Heche, and Sandra Oh,
Okay.
2 actresses.
Yeah.
And right out of the gate, Anne Heche is, like, she's trying to perform,
Okay.
trying to engage the audience. And if you've never listened to Doug Loves Movies before,
I haven't.
comedian Doug Benson just invites either comedians from the area who were in town at the time. He's doing a comedy show about, like, he'll ask the guests, what movies have you seen recently? And then they'll play some movie-based games, and then the audience member that the guests are representing will win, like, a prize bag.
Sure.
And all the comedians, like, bring a prize
Sure.
to put in the bag. And so, yeah, Anne Heche comes out, and she's like, apparently she hasn't been told what the show is, what the format is.
Sure.
So she thinks it's like, I've been hired. Well, no one gets paid. It's just volunteer.
Right. Yeah.
But she thinks she has to, like,
Put
engage
on
the
a show,
audience,
yeah.
put on a show. And then she gets so obnoxious and, like, disruptive that Doug, like, calls her out on it. He's like, you don't have to do the show for me. Like, I've been doing this for 10 years. All you have to do is just sit down and answer the questions in turn. Like, she and the director interrupt everyone so much with, like, and Anne has, like, this insulting way of, like, responding to things because she's trying to play this character, like this personality.
Yeah.
but her responses are sort of insulting, and then like Doug's had enough of it, so eventually he like someone makes a joke about like offering her $20 and she'll leave, and he gets out a $20 bill and asks her to leave, and then the director's like, I can't believe you're doing this again, like you're a dick, and then like there's a cussing match, and then finally like Doug boots him off and he leaves, and then it's just Anne Heche, and she's like, what did I do wrong? What's the problem? And Doug's like, well, clearly your publicist did a shit job of telling you like what we're supposed to be doing here. And then like she has some sarcastic remarks, and like as soon as you think like they finally smooth things over and she's going to behave, like he engages her again, and she, he explains like what the thing is, and then she says something like, he says like, you're just supposed to just tell us and the audience like what you're up to lately, and then she says something like, because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So anyway, all of a sudden there's just silence, and then the audience is like applauding, and you kind of surmise that she just got up and left.
Yeah.
So then it's just Doug and Sandra Oh, and he's like, what happened? Like, do two people from the audience want to come up and like finish the show with me? And it gets pretty nice from there, but it's just the meltdown is just so shocking.
Yeah. Is it at Meltdown?
I don't think it is, but I wish it was, because they do a lot of episodes at Meltdown.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, it was.
Would you recommend it as a first-time listener to that show? Like, if I go listen to it, should I listen to a different episode of Doug Loves Movies first? Because I genuinely never have. Should I start by listening to a different one, so that way when everything melts down, I at least know, like, oh yeah, you guys are doing it wrong?
I mean, sure, but also listen to another one so you know what like a normal show sounds
like.
No,
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah, like should I listen to a regular show so that way when this one melts down, I'm like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like all they need to do is real simple.
Yeah. Don't make it the only one you listen to. Is what I have to say. Like,
all right, cool. Then I'll at least listen to one more and then listen to this.
If that's your introduction, like, I'm sorry, because it's a fun show, and like you said, it's like I've been doing this for 10 years. Like,
right.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the problem. So
cool.
But as I was listening to it, I was like, God, will these other two just shut up so that like someone can answer a freaking question and the show can move on?
Yeah.
But anyways, like I know it's not like a movie I watched, but it was just so fascinating. I listened to it twice.
Yeah.
Like
similarly, I will point out that this. Have you listened to this week's How Did This Get Made yet? For XXX, The Return of Xander Cage?
I thought it was last week, but yeah.
Well,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yes, right, because it's kind of bi-weekly.
Actually, it made me want to see it.
Thank you. It's so good.
I
was so
if I can
excited.
find it at Dollar Theater, I will talk to James about it.
I don't think it's even there. Like, you just have to rent it when it comes out.
Yeah.
But even that won't be as good. Like, seeing it in a theater with an audience was so enjoyable. And like, yeah, they talk about it the way they talk about a Fast and the Furious movie, right?
Yeah.
Like, or the way that I've always talked about a Resident Evil, where it's just like, yeah, this is complete dog shit, but it knows it, and it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree. I have to listen through it again.
That clip at the end, though, where he's like trying to be interviewed by apparently the most beautiful woman in the world ever,
gosh,
sounds so gross,
so terrible. Vin Diesel might be an awful person.
I know. I know Ryan rags on him a lot, but I was willing to give him a pass.
Oh yeah,
but
I was too. I always was too, because I was like, well, yeah, I think he's just a little bit. He's like so typecast at this point that he can't do anything else.
Right. But yeah, he might be a.
Because I like him in like Find Me Guilty is a decent film, and he does a fine job in it. It's not an amazing movie. No one should run out and see it. But I'm like, okay, like there was a time where he was trying to spread himself out, and I just don't think he's that anymore. Now he's like, don't get in a street fight because the street always wins, and then like fucking CG happens. But yeah, anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Back to what I've been watching.
Yeah, what did you watch?
Yeah. I'm gonna skip through a couple of quick things here. I watched Beware the Slender Man, the HBO show about Slender Man and the girls who tried to kill a little girl.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I enjoyed this as much as like, or was as interested in this as much as like Zach was. I think it's interesting, and when you find out that there is a like reason why this is happening to this little girl, like, yes, it makes it more interesting. Like it at least makes you like sympathize with the
Victim.
Well, no, I mean, you always sympathize with the victim. When you find out, like, oh, okay, the reason why she thinks that Slender Man is real is because of X, Y, and Z, like, you kind of go like, oh, okay, so this isn't just like, a case of this person might be shit. I was going to say this person might be a crazy person. It's not just a case of like this person is like, a serial killer in the making. Like there is a sort of sympathetic reason why she would fall for this. Okay, but it doesn't it just makes it a complicated story. And it starts to dig into some issues with like, how does a generation today interact with the internet and with myth and a lot of those things. And that's the part that's actually interesting. So it's actually kind of unfortunate to me how much time it ends up spending on the case, because I actually find the case less interesting and so open and shut that it's like, okay, well, yes, there's this question because she has this medical condition, but that to me is like a 15-minute discussion in a documentary that should otherwise be about the way that these kids were, consuming media and what does that mean? Like, there's this guy who keeps sort of talking about how he's not frustrated, but concerned about like the fact that his like fifth grader is getting assigned iPads in school, and that's at least a conversation that's never really had in the documentary that to me is more interesting than what Slender Man actually, like, that's what a documentary about this issue should be about. And here it ends up being sort of like, well, is this girl guilty or not? Or, do we sympathize with her more? And I don't know. It's an interesting question, but it's not necessarily as awesome as a documentary could be. But worth watching, on the other side, I don't know why I keep listening to Zach. I also, because Zach
No one should ever listen to Zach.
Zach got on a tear about the O.J. Simpson documentaries. Sounded like he really liked the one that just won a few minutes ago, won the Oscar for Best Documentary this year.
Made in America.
Made in America. But also then that got him watching the
People versus
the People versus the American Crime Story. Is that what it is? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
American Crime Story series. And so I started watching that, and then I stopped watching that because it's basically everything I don't like about American Horror Story and none of the stuff I do. So it's like super stilted dialogue and the performances I don't think are that good, and the way it's shot is like a History Channel reenactment show from the 90s itself, and I just genuinely I'm not interested in most of it. I think the performances are actually kind of terrible. And that might just be because the writing is kind of terrible, which is all things that I'm used to from American Horror Story. But the difference is American Horror Story will be like, but what if there's aliens in this asylum too? Like it goes for such batshit crazy stuff that I'm like, yeah, what the fuck? Why not? Whereas in this, it's like, no, this is the serious story of O.J. Simpson. But all of this shit is terrible. So I don't know. I watched the first episode and I didn't care, even though I'm actually really interested in it because I was too young at the time, so I don't really remember much about it. And so a documentary that really digs into like, hey, this is what happened and this is what the culture was like at the time, and that all sounds really fascinating. But
I remember being in, I think it was 7th grade something.
Yeah.
I think it was American history.
Sure.
Early in the morning, and like the teacher didn't even do the class.
Just turned on
TV and we watched it. I'm like, why
you
are
all
we watching this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I wasn't following. I'd come home and of course my parents were, but I didn't care what the news was.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's on Netflix if you want to watch it, but I don't really recommend it. So anyway. And then the very last thing, I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which is I'm going to review a movie I didn't finish. Usually I just wouldn't talk about it at all, but did you just think of another thing?
Maybe. Keep going.
Okay. Usually if I don't finish a movie because it's so bad, like if anything it's a footnote, but I have to tell you about this thing. So I started watching a movie from 2012 directed by Lee Daniels of The Butler and Precious.
He's
before
acclaimed.
those, yes.
Yeah.
Called The Paperboy, that stars Matthew McConaughey and Nicole Kidman and John Cusack and Zac Efron. And you've never heard of this movie because it's holy shit terrible.
You said 2012?
Yeah, 2012. Which actually, no, that would be after Precious, wouldn't it?
I don't know.
I feel like Precious was when I was still in college. But this is also
Precious-
one of those indie
I
films
think,
that
no,
might
Precious
have.
was like 2009.
Oh yeah. This is also one of those indie films that could have been
2010 maybe.
in the can for a couple of years, before like it actually got a release. Yeah, 2009 for Precious. So this was the movie he did after Precious. Weird, because this thing is just so terrible. So this is. I don't even totally know how to explain what this movie is, because about an hour in, I still didn't know really what the story was. So
Sorry, I've already forgotten the title.
it's called Paperboy.
Okay.
It's called The Paperboy.
I've seen the poster before.
Yes, it's got Zac Efron's arm on the poster, and then a bunch of heads, but they're all very small.
Isn't there a car? They're
Yeah,
riding in a
well,
car?
his arm is stretched over a car.
Yeah.
And then there's just a bunch of very small heads. And okay, I'm
So
trying to
this-
fire
so
out
this
where
is
to
not
even
an
start.
adaptation of the NES game.
No, no.
Ah, that's the other thing I did. Damn
If
it.
it is, then holy shit. So okay, so the story of the Paperboy, as best I can figure out, is that in a like small southern town in Florida, I think it's in the Panhandle of Florida, in I think the 60s or 70s, 60s, late 60s, when racial tensions are very high in the South. A police officer, a sheriff is murdered, is stabbed to death, maybe by John Cusack. John Cusack is now in jail, and Matthew McConaughey comes home, or comes to his hometown. His younger brother is Zac Efron, and Matthew McConaughey is going to try to defend John Cusack in a very A Time to Kill kind of fashion. And he has a black partner who's his writing partner. Because they're like journalists, right? So they're not really lawyers. They're journalists going to tell the story of this guy who's maybe wrongfully accused. And Nicole Kidman is there because she wrote them and told them that he's innocent, but she only thinks that because she's been writing love letters to him in jail, and unlike I don't even want to repeat some of the things that she has said, but anyway. So I think that's what's going on, but this movie is so poorly put together that I was genuinely lost for about 30 minutes.
I'm still not following
Didn't
it.
know who killed who or what. Didn't know why these people were there or why they were related to each other. Basically, Matthew McConaughey and his writing partner are working out of their garage, but it's full of desks, and I don't know why they're there or what they're trying to do. Unlike any other one of these films, like A Time to Kill or A Few Good Men, there's these scenes where they're supposed to be doing research to try and figure things out, but they seem to just be aimless, and they have no real direction for trying to prove that John Cusack is innocent. And when we meet John Cusack, he is absolutely disgusting and seems like a crazy murderer. So I don't know why they think he's innocent. It's not even like A Time to Kill where they know he did it, but they just feel bad for him anyway. The whole racial plot doesn't even really matter to the story, right? Because John Cusack supposedly killed a white guy, but there's racial tension in the film, but I don't know why it matters to the story. When they first meet, okay, here's where it's going to start getting weird. So when they first meet John Cusack, Nicole Kidman's there with him because she's in love with John Cusack because she's been writing him love letters, right? And he doesn't jerk off in the interview room. He just sort of sits there, and she from 20 yards away, she pretends like she's blowing him, and then he comes in his pants. And that was a scene. And then later, Zac Efron Zac Efron's really attracted to her, I guess, even though she's disgusting. And they're at the beach together, and he runs into the water, and he gets attacked by a whole bunch of jellyfish. Like there's just suddenly man of war everywhere, and so he gets stung by jellyfish.
Really
and he runs out of the ocean, and this is where it's going to get crazy. He runs out of the ocean and like collapses on the beach, and all these girls run over, and they're screaming about how like, oh my gosh, like he's been stung. Like the only we have to pee on like the wounds.
I was about to say
to
like,
make it
someone
go
gonna
away.
pee on him?
And literally, Nicole Kidman runs over and screams at all these women and is like, hey. Get away from him. If anybody's going to pee on him, it's me. And then you watch Nicole Kidman pee on Zac Efron. And then it just cuts to a different scene. And Zac Efron is back and he's fine. I don't know what the scene where he gets peed on is for, but it happened. And then I think I watched another 15 minutes or so and still didn't have any clue what was going on. And was like, why the fuck am I watching this? It's terrible. I don't know. I can like at least a 50 Shades of Grey or a Triple X. Like they're bad, but I know why they're bad because they're assembled properly. So they're telling me a very shitty, stupid story, and they're doing a bad job of it. Where this, I can't even tell why anything is happening. It's just like an assemblage of footage. It's not even a film. I think Macy Gray is in the movie as like their like maid, like their live-in maid. And she's weird too. Oh, and she's narrating the film. So if anytime you get lost, Macy Gray is going to pop up and tell you about what's happening, but not tell you enough for any of it to make any damn sense. Yeah.
Does it feel like Lee Daniels said, I have a bunch of little ideas. Maybe we could make them into one entire movie. Let's just do it and see what happens.
Yeah, I was like, I always wanted to see Nicole Kidman pee on somebody, so it's so bizarre.
I have this dream I keep having of like running into the ocean and getting stung by jellyfish and then running onto the beach. Can we recreate that?
And it keeps like,
I have to get it out of me.
You keep having these scenes where Matthew McConaughey is doing his best to try and pretend like he's in A Time to Kill. Like he's trying to spin up like, I'm a guy who's really determined to get this guy off for this crime. But he has no motivation or direction to do so. Like he's not asking questions or trying to, like he never says, as far as I can remember, never says like, what happened that night or where were you or like, we never find out why anyone gives a shit about getting this guy, acquitted or whatever. It's insane. I'm very curious to finish it because I'm afraid there might be something else. But like,
so you're not done with it just for now?
Well, I watched the first half a week ago, so I don't know that I'm like, I have the DVD. I could watch the rest of it. I'm holding on to it because I'm like, well. Maybe Nicole Kidman pees on somebody else. Like, maybe there's some reason why I should watch the rest of this. But
it all gets explained at the end.
Yes. Like, all of a sudden, like, things just line up, and you're like, oh, like, the communists sent those jellyfish to go sting him. I don't even know what it could be. Like, because I don't even know what questions to ask. I mean, it's genuinely so confusing. I was beside myself with how unfollowable and pointless the film seemed to be. So anyway, yeah.
Okay.
The Paperboy. Don't ever watch it. Not ever, ever. Maybe go YouTube Nicole Kidman pees on a fool. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I was.
Hey, not all movies are made for everybody.
I'd like to know who it was made for.
Yeah, well,
I'd
it clearly is made for Lee Daniels.
If you've seen The Paperboy and think it's great, please explain.
Maybe Henry knows.
Oh, yeah.
If anyone knows, it's Henry.
Yes. That might be good.
Yeah.
I need to find out whether or not Henry's seen it and then make Henry watch it so that way maybe I'll understand.
I've quit the podcast. Screw you, James.
I can't believe
this was
you
too
made
far.
me watch this. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I've been watching. Did you think of something else?
Well, kind of. The one thing I did last week that I forgot to talk about is there's a arcade called Hyperspace in Lakewood near Casa Bonita.
Okay.
it was hard for me to find, even with the Google Maps. It's kind of like in a warehouse behind a bunch of other industrial things.
Yeah.
But it's an awesome arcade.
Cool.
It's $12, all you can play.
Cool.
Pinball, so you don't have to worry about coins and tokens and all that.
Yeah.
You just pay $12 up at the desk. You can do $45 for a month.
Yeah.
They're open till like as late as midnight most days, and it's fantastic. Like,
wow.
A lot of their machines, it sucks. I was listening to an old episode of ours from like 2012 when the Esquire was doing like vintage promos for things, and one of them was the Star Trek arcade game. It's like one of those vector arcades.
Yeah.
Like the cabinet and everything.
Yeah.
Like the Star Wars one is. I remember seeing that commercial. I'm like, oh, like it's probably lame, but I still want to play it. And Hyperspace has it, but it's out of commission right now. But yeah, a lot of their machines are like the really early arcade stuff, and they have a room of a console you can play like Smash Brothers on.
Cool.
A large variety of like really old pinball machines too. Like I'm used to a lot of flashy lights and sounds, but like ones from the 70s are just like it's one level, and there's just the only lights are just the score.
Yep.
But they have some great sound effects, which like they're really charming. Like there is a space shuttle one that is I just played to listen to the sounds over again.
Did they have any of the ones? I played a really cool one when I was in Anaheim. At a little like pinball museum there that had this cool spinny plate in the middle, and so when the ball would hit the middle, it would sling the ball in different directions.
I didn't see one there, but I've seen one like that before. Yeah,
like El Diablo or something like that. It was like fireball, and it was really cool.
Yeah, a lot of the older ones are just it's one level, and there's the flippers and then a couple bumpers.
Yeah. Like even the idea of multiple, like
and the gap is huge.
2 sets of flippers. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But there was a cool one where the backboard is part of the game too, so you'll hit the ball up and it'll go into the top section on like an elevator and then drop off, and then you have to like play
like
kind of inverted.
Pachinko?
Yeah, like Plinko from
yes, Plinko, yeah.
From Price is Right.
Yes.
So that's hard to like readjust your understanding of gravity. So yeah, Awesome place. It's really dark in there, so I wish it was a little brighter. Some of the games, but they had the Ninja Turtles arcade game. Unfortunately, like halfway through, Donatello's attack button got stuck, and then Michelangelo's jump button got stuck. So, like two of the best.
You were down two members.
Yeah, I mean you can play all of them. Just some had limited abilities. But the fact that you don't have to like load up a card or you can just go in and just play whatever as much as you want. I also did the Terminator 2. It had the 2 machine guns. Mm-hmm. One of the machine guns, the sight was calibrated all wrong. So there's a part in the game, like I've never, given that I didn't have enough coins, like that's a hard game to play with quarters. So I got really far in the game up to a point where the T-1000's in the helicopter chasing the van.
Okay.
And all you got to do is just hit one bullet on the helicopter to make it go away and come back.
Yeah.
But if that helicopter touches the van a little bit at all, the level's over, and you got to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
And just like
and if your guns are not calibrated right.
Yeah, I have one gun that's calibrated right, and it either comes from the top of the screen down and hits the van, or it comes from the left side of the screen and then across and hits the van. And so you have to really fast to like change directions.
Yeah.
Like I was so excited about beating this game, and there was no way to do it. Like I switched to double guns, but because that one gun's so screwed up, like I was trying to keep the crosshairs on the top and the side at the same time, and there's just no way, man.
Oh man!
Like maybe if the sights were both calibrated correctly, but I was so disappointed that I didn't beat that. But Hyperspace on Colfax,
very cool.
Check it out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm probably gonna get a monthly pass just so I can go in whenever and just play.
Yeah,
at my leisure.
Cool.
So.
That sounds like fun. Very good. Cool. So this week we went and saw Get Out. Brad, should people go see Get Out?
I've mixed feelings about this movie because while I want to say I had expectations, I also didn't from the trailer. the most interesting part of the trailer is missing from the movie.
Really?
Like the thing that's like, oh, that might make this movie cool. It doesn't end up in the movie. It's definitely, I would say it's a good movie, but I just don't know if it's fulfilling enough. Like it's not quite, like it's not terrifying like a horror movie would be for me. But it's also not like the deep not philosophical, but like it's not a deep exploration of, like not deep enough for like a exploration of racism for me.
Sure.
Like there's nothing that really challenged me. Like, oh yeah, I know what they're doing and it's happening on screen type thing. Like I didn't feel like it's balanced.
Yeah.
I don't know. This movie has left me like, I don't know how to take it, especially when it's getting like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm just like, really, no one. Like I feel like I missed something because it's not like 100% for me. So
interesting. I would say that I agree with a couple of your points, except that I also really loved this movie.
You really loved it, okay?
Yes. So, and we can get into like because I do think it's doing a lot of things that are obvious, but it's also like it's dealing with things on an obvious level as far as race is concerned. But I think there is a lot of interesting depth here, especially once it's over, that I've really enjoyed thinking about. And I would say it's not really a horror movie. It's really closer to a thriller. The scariest that it ever gets to me is like almost equivalent to a like there's a couple of scenes that are more like Zodiac style, like just tense than anything else. So yeah, no, I actually would highly recommend it. I don't think it's a horror movie, so don't go into it expecting that. Go in expecting something that's more Stepford Wives. But I definitely think it's worth checking out.
Stepford Wives is a good comparison.
I think that the way it deals with race is actually really intelligent because while it's dealing with some stuff superficially, there's some choices that the movie makes, especially near the end, that makes it, to me, feel a lot less preachy and a lot smarter, which was really worth thinking about on my end. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. So here is the trailer to Get Out.
You got your toothbrush?
Check.
Do you have your deodorant?
Check.
Do you have your cozy clothes?
Got that.
What?
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
Mom and Dad, my black boyfriend will be coming up this weekend. I just don't want you to be shocked that he's a black man.
I ain't never seen you like this before, bruh. Meeting families and taking road trips. Don't come back all bougie, man. Come back, get your damn pants up to your damn stomach.
So you guys coming up from the city?
Yeah, we're just heading up for the weekend.
Can I see your license, please?
He wasn't driving.
I didn't ask who was driving. I asked to see his ID.
Call me Dean and you hug me, my man.
So how long has this been going on, this thing? We hired Georgina and Walter to help care for my parents. When they died, I couldn't bear to let them go.
Do you smoke in front of my daughter?
I'm gonna quit.
She'd take care of that for you.
How?
Hypnosis.
I'm good, actually.
You ready for this?
I'm back in the beat.
So look, I go do my research. Apparently, a whole bunch of brothers been missing in this suburb. But it's cool. Bro, how you not scared of this, man?
Good to see another brother around here.
Chris was just telling me how he felt much more comfortable with my being here.
Get out. Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
Rose, we gotta go.
Is everything okay?
Rose, the keys. Just get the keys.
I don't know where they are.
Rose?
Sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Mine is a terrible thing to waste. Terrible thing to waste.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
No. No. No, 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 no.
A bomb is a terrible thing to waste.
So I'm going to recommend that we
Spoilers.
talk as long as we can
Okay.
without spoiling a couple things.
I don't know if I can. Like,
Okay.
Like the only thing I can think of to explain is in spoiler section. So unless
Sure.
you got something,
Well,
go for it.
I would at least say that like I think that the opening sequence itself is really cool, partially because, and I know what. So I think it's a good sort of way to boil down what I was saying as far as like. It's really obvious what it's doing, but I think it does it so well that I don't care. So it's a scene where you've got this black guy walking through the suburbs, and it's not tongue-in-cheek at all. It's actually pretty tense because he is uncomfortable in this place where he is probably the only black guy, and even when the car drives by the first time, yes, that car ends up being a dangerous car, but you're tense. And the way that it builds that tension and makes you feel like this guy is in a dangerous place, even though that's a place you would usually. I mean, we are both white people, so obviously take a lot of the things we're going to say with some grains of salt and our own personal bias. But it's a place where we would normally feel very safe, where he is afraid and feels very outside. And I think the movie is very effective at that. It's an obvious thing that's almost something that you could turn it into a Key and Peele sketch, right? Like if you'd made that scene funny, it would be playing on the exact same ideas, but not making it funny. Like I think it builds that tension really well. Yeah, so that's sort of my point, right? Like it's dealing with a superficial kind of race issue, but to me, I think it does that. It does a good job of that.
Yeah, the whole movie, I agree. Like it does, all of its scenes build tension really well.
Yeah.
Like especially through even scenes like so the deer hitting the car is in the trailer, and
right.
it was still shocking when I watched it, knowing it was coming.
Right.
So even with that, like it does that really well. But
I think the story that they tie into that deer as well, when you end up finding out like his backstory and why that deer is special to him.
I still don't know, actually.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about at least that bit because I think now there's a spoiler aspect to the race to the race issues that I think is really good and what makes this movie not preachy when it could have been, or at least more interesting. But that's totally in the spoiler section. So I don't know. I think moving forward, we're going to have to start spoiling some things. So if you want to go see it, stop listening. But yeah, so the deer thing, he ends up talking about it when he's sitting on the log with
when he's ready to go home.
Williams. Yeah. And basically you end up hearing like, oh yeah, like his mom was killed in a hit and run and laid on the side of the road, and he never called like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like he sees the deer and it's his mom, and he's like, oh yeah, this is how my mom died.
Okay. Speaking of which, the thing missing from the trailer is like the ghost deer is not in the movie, which was the coolest thing to see.
It is true. There's way less like psychological terror than I was expecting. But
like now you say that like his mom is the deer at the same time, like the fact that he kills that one guy with the deer head just seems so cheesy to me.
Yeah, that's maybe my least favorite kill. It's funny because when it turns into sort of a revenge film, like he's almost too badass.
Yeah,
like it's like I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you. Like he's
like a Rambo.
Yeah, but at the same time, you're like, actually, sure, like. If
these people are awful, and
these people are awful. B, he is pretty driven at that point, and probably can overpower them. They even, there's enough lines of dialogue in the movie to say like, hey, this guy is supposed to be, visibly stronger than everyone else here, and that's, part of why he's there. So. I don't know. I'm going to probably bounce around talking about.
Yeah, let's go back to the beginning.
Yeah. So, when you find out, I think the whole section when he gets to the house and he starts getting uncomfortable, like they do a good job of getting you to the place of hey, there's something wrong here, and he's got to figure it out, because we all know there's something wrong.
I think
right?
that's what kind of ruined it for me, is thinking like I already know that something's not right with these people from the trailer,
right?
So I'm just waiting for the turn the whole time,
right?
Like they do a good job of being charming and like deflective of what's coming, but at the same time, I'm like, well, I know they're up to something, so like already I'm ahead of the character.
But at the same time, I think they, he gets hypnotized like 10 or 15 minutes into being at the house. Like they drop you into no, these people are clearly terrible. It's just a question of what are they actually trying to do, and how is he going to figure it out or prove it,
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like this cat and mouse game of like, well, are they like, no, they're clearly bad. We don't know who all is bad, and we don't know why. And so I enjoy that part of it. I think a lot of the so I'll sort of skip right to it, right? So a lot of the tension draws on him being used to being seen a certain way because he's black, and being used to certain dynamics, right? So when there's a black woman at the house and she doesn't like him, he assumes that she's just mad that a black man is dating a white woman, right? Which is a stereotype and expectation that he's used to. Same thing for the other guy. Like a lot of that tension, right? Like when he meets the dad and the way that the parents are treating him, like he just expects that it's because he's black and dating their daughter. And what's really interesting to me is that by the end of the film, what you end up realizing is that none of these people are actually racist.
Yeah,
like
that was the cool
their
part of the
motivation has nothing to do with like trapping black people and enslaving them, which makes the whole conversation to me not preachy and way more dynamic, because it's almost like if he were white, he wouldn't have ever even felt uncomfortable.
Right.
Like they would have just gotten away with it.
He's uncomfortable because of his own like his own assumptions, his stereotypes of white people.
Yeah, like it's just the dominoes are all in place just right that he sees the signs when somebody else might not normally. Like he's uncomfortable because he's around a bunch of white people and that makes him uncomfortable. And in the end, like they don't really care whether he's white or black.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with what they're doing and why. And that's such a smart choice from a script point of view.
Yeah. Like Stephen Root's character, he meets this blind character, and they just talk about how they both love photography, right?
Yeah.
And then later you find out that, like, yes, Stephen Root wants him, but it's not for anything but the fact that he just needs a new pair of eyes.
Right. Like, well, and he wants
a good pair of eyes.
Yeah.
He
wants eyes that can really, like,
appreciate photography, because he's an art dealer.
Right. And it's interesting because, here you have this scene where there's these people like bidding on him, and it's very, uncomfortable to watch because you still think it's all about race. And then when you take a step back and you look at what it really is, you're like, oh no, it's just a thriller horror suspense movie. But with this sort of veneer on top of it, that to me is really interesting because it makes you think about the way that at least some black people, and maybe the majority of them, live their life and see the rest of the world, and how uncomfortable they can be in certain situations and why. And it lets you sort of sit in that and stew in it in a way that you probably, that you haven't in a lot of other movies, even when that's what the movie is about. Like here, you end up feeling like the victim in the way that you would in a normal thriller or horror movie because of the color of his skin. And that to me is just really effective in a way that another movie about race, like The Help or something like that, where you're like, oh, this is really unfair the way these people are being treated, you still feel separated from it. Whereas here, by the end of the movie, like you're closed in and afraid of everything just as much as he is. I would even say earlier than that opening scene, like you are uncomfortable and want him to not be in that neighborhood and want him to be somewhere where he's more comfortable. And that's such an effective thing that makes you think about it's not even about whether or not the character is safe. It's more about like, why doesn't he get to feel comfortable in that situation? And that to me is just really effective.
Yeah.
You know,
the problem though with that first scene is that like because of it, later on I'm like, I already know. Okay, this family is abducting black people.
Oh yeah.
I just don't know why.
Right.
And that's why I just need the explanation. So a lot of the movie I'm sitting there going like, just explain it already.
Well, but I think that's my point. Is like once they get to the house, there isn't a lot of tension of like, are they or aren't they, right? It's not really Stepford Wivesy because you always know like they're evil. It's just a question of, you know, trying to figure out why and getting those little clues along the way.
Yeah, and they try to like make his girlfriend seem like a surprise, but at the same time too, I'm going, you know, there's no way that she is not in the know of what her family's up to, so she has to be on it too. So when she makes her turn, I'm just like, okay.
Yeah,
saw that coming.
That was one where I don't even know how I feel about that one because it's not. I don't know that I was surprised.
Like I would have loved
I think
it if
I was
she
more curious.
wasn't in on it. Like she had to be. Like I think for me it might have been more interesting for her to also realize that like,
oh,
I've been living with these people,
but here's
and
what's
not getting it.
Here's the moment that to me is such a stroke of genius. That is why it's great that she's in on it, because when he's on the street and he's trying to choke her to death, and you hear the sirens, the like fear that runs through you of the cops are going to pull up and kill him.
Yeah,
like
Night of the
that
Living Dead
moment.
style.
Yes, like that's what this is going to be about. Is so effective that then, and I actually think the payoff of that is even better. Like
it was actually
the TSA car is such a brilliant move.
Which,
to
by the
not
way,
do that.
Is it me or do you think that if Key and Peele had actually been able to play those characters in the movie, like that would have been them?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it would also
like
not
Key
have been
is the
as
main
good.
character and Peele is the TSA guy.
It wouldn't have been anywhere near as good. I wouldn't have been able to buy them.
Well, yeah, because you'd think it would just make it because they're known for comedy.
Yeah, I see their faces and I think it's funny.
Yeah,
yeah, I can't help it.
It just takes away from the
I'm
tension
sure they
and
know
everything.
That,
yeah.
And the main guy, I think is fantastic. Like those moments where he's like paralyzed in the chair are really pretty, at least uncomfortable. You know, like you believe that he is not okay with the fact that he can't move. And Catherine Keener is awesome. I love her in everything. But I think she's really effective and cool here. Like that scene when she, when the woman spills water all over the table or tea all over the table.
Yeah.
Like just how cold her reaction is really fantastic. Yeah, man, I don't know. I actually really liked it. And you know,
the part where when his girlfriend's chasing him down with a shotgun, and then she's like, "Get him, Grandma." Felt like,
I know that line was get him, Grandpa. Grandpa runs fast.
both.
Well,
when they're driving away,
I think she just said, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. But she makes a comment about just like, I think she just says Grandma because she thinks he's taking Grandma. Like she doesn't.
He thinks she's
concerned
saving
for
Georgina.
Grandma. Yeah, he thinks he's saving her. She is like, oh no, he just took my grandmother. I don't think she's rooting for Grandma to stop him necessarily.
I thought she was.
Whatever. Maybe she was. Both those lines are.
If it was, I thought it was
a little
cheesy.
awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the delivery is tough, but it's also really important because I think that's like the last turn where you go like, oh, because I don't think I quite realized like it wasn't until you see the operation where I was like, oh, they're taking brains out and like subduing the conscious so that they'll keep breathing.
If you're not going to watch the movie and you've been trying to listen to what we've been talking about, the actual thing is
right.
The family is part of like this cult of like they're auctioning off the people they kidnap so they can do a brain transplant. And Catherine Keener, she does hypnosis to like suppress their consciousness to the back of their minds so that the new consciousness can take over. Right. And that's why all the people on the estate all act funny is because they're actually completely different people.
Yeah. So even like that's the thing that like to me is kind of creepy because then when you go back and look at Andre, who you think like, oh, he's just being brainwashed to like be this woman's sex slave. Like, no, her husband is in there. Like when he's normal, that's just her husband. And then it makes you also wonder like how old are these people? Like how many times have they done this? You know. But I I don't know. I actually really liked it.
Yeah. I'm still wondering like what I should have got out of it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the experience is sort of the point.
Yeah.
Like that uncomfortable feeling is really the point of the film. Because I would agree. Like the things it's saying about race to me are really obvious. Unfortunately, not everyone in the world necessarily understands or sees that. So maybe there's also people out there who will see this and go like, "Oh, I didn't see it that way."
I fully acknowledge that like there's a perspective that I will never have.
Oh, right.
In order to enjoy that, maybe the director intended that I just can't.
Yes.
Have, unfortunately, but
I think there's a couple, right? Like there's the person who sees this movie and is black and has had some of this experience or feels this way, and for them maybe this movie is more of a horror film because that those scenes make them even more uncomfortable than it does even me. And then I think there's also people who have never seen it this way or have never thought about this stuff, and they see it and they are a bit more blown away or uncomfortable with it for that reason. So I think I come to it and kind of go like, okay, like I'm going to forgive it the fact that it's talking about stuff that to me is very obvious because, I mean, unfortunately the conversation still has to be had. So I guess I'm measuring it more on how effective it is at making me uncomfortable and making me experience these things that I've never experienced. And so that part of it I think is pretty good. So, yeah, I don't know. I would definitely still recommend it. It's one of the better experiences I've had in the theater so far this year for sure. So
cool.
Yeah. What do we see next? Oh, Logan.
Yeah. So next week we're gonna have Logan. We're gonna have a review of 50 Shades Darker. We're gonna have all these nerdy envelopes opened.
Yeah.
And resulted, and we'll probably recap the actual Oscars.
Yeah,
it should be over by now, right?
Yeah, we're getting close. We're getting really close here.
So we could tell you who won. But I'm sure you could just use the internet in the next 10 plus days.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a late review next week.
Yeah. But, yeah. You're going to Seattle?
Yeah.
What's going on in Seattle?
I'm going to Geek Bowl.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully
you win.
Compete, hopefully. Unlikely, but
hey, man.
Maybe get $10,000.
Come back a winner or don't come back at all.
Split between 6 people. Yeah. But I'm going to do some other stuff, too.
Cool.
I think Nintendo got a new building. So I'm going to check out the new one. Hopefully they still have another like Nintendo store inside, and the Switch will come out by then.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. I don't know if I'm going to bring mine to Seattle though. It just seems like one more thing I have to worry about getting lost.
Yeah.
I'm going to check out the Cinerama Dome. There's a Star Trek exhibit at the Museum of Modern Pop Culture.
The Museum of Modern Pop Culture.
Mopop. They changed the name since I was last there. It's something else now. But there's a Star Trek exhibit. Yeah, I'm going to try to find some like cool comic book stores and nerd stuff to do there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And hopefully see Logan.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to talk about it when I get back.
I'm so excited.
I know.
Cool. All right. Well, Brad, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. Again, let's all hope Reggie pulls through.
Yeah. See, I actually think that I have a...
You're indifferent to it? Like,
no,
you could go or not. It's no big deal.
No, I mean, if we're going to have a real serious conversation about it, like, the poor guy's, like, diabetic and has terrible diseases and has been sick for a long time. If he's going to be in pain the rest of his life, I'd rather he doesn't. Oh, I know. It's terrible. I actually have a text on my phone right now that's telling me whether or not, but we can save that for later.
Oh. Way to leave a cliffhanger.
I just saw I have a text from Laura on my phone, so. Anyway, hey, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
You said bye.
You tricked me.
Real Nerds is a Nebulous Visions multimedia production. We would also like to thank Sparks Mandrill for our music. Additional music from Ben Sounds. Thank you to Alamo Drafthouse. Thank you to Colorado Coins, Cards, and Comics. And thank you for listening to the Real Nerds Podcast.